Hello, everyone, and welcome to Traffic Corner Tuesday. My name is Paul Curry, Client Relationship Manager at SPAC Enterprise, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Today, we will be discussing what we learned from a traffic calming experiment. As I've been saying all the way through for the last hour, please join the conversation. Use the chat box. You can use the Q&A. I will be monitoring that and be getting that either during, if it's a prompt, or afterwards in our Q&A session. The Traffic Corner Tuesday web series is brought to you by Mike on Traffic, which is part of the SPAC Enterprise family of companies. Now, SPAC Enterprise consists of a group of traffic engineering companies focused on helping you create healthy transportation systems and fix broken ones. Please visit our websites, countingcars.com or SPAC Consulting, to schedule a call to discuss your transportation equipment and study needs. Now, moving on, today's presenters are Mike Spack and Brian Fiesick. Mike is the creative force and principal writer of the industry-leading blog, Mike on Traffic, and Brian is the vice president of SPAC Enterprise and regularly contributes to Mike on Traffic, as well as co-hosts these webinars with Mike, as you can see. Both Mike and Brian are licensed professional engineers and certified professional traffic operations engineers. My name is Brian. Yep. Now, the core purpose of SPAC Enterprise is to improve transportation globally. And both of these guys take that purpose to heart and are constantly thinking about how our industry can evolve, provide safer and more efficient transportation. Now, today's webinar is about the type of innovation product that they love. So without further ado, gentlemen, please take it away.
Thanks, Paul. And since maybe we have faces for radio, we're going to go over to our presentation. But thought we'd like to say hi, and we'll come back in for the Q&A at the end.
All right.
So today's webinar, to set it up a little bit, one of the biggest problems city engineers face is just a fear of change. Whenever anything is proposed new in a neighborhood, you get residents who are concerned, and then that ripples up to the city council members as elected officials. Then they get a little bit of that fear of change. And Deb Heiser and Jack Sullivan at the City of St. Louis Park came up with a creative process here that we're going to go through today. And I think Ben from the City of St. Louis Park is sitting in with us. He had just started on the engineering staff at St. Louis Park when we started this project. So really innovative way to go through a process to calm those fears and help get city council on board and comfortable with some big changes in a neighborhood.
All right, so as Mike let in there, we are in St. Louis Park, which is in Minnesota. So just quick getting our bearings here. Our world headquarters is in Minneapolis. So if I move along here, St. Louis Park, as you can see, is a suburb. And if we scroll on a little bit more into St. Louis Park, you can see standard suburb residential neighborhoods and
Highway 100's a freeway.
Yep.
Then Highway 7 on the north side is an arterial. Limited access, and here in the yellow area is the Elmwood neighborhood, and this was scheduled for a complete street reconstruct project, part of the capital improvement plan for the city, and they came in with some concerned residents in the neighborhood, and they had some unique things going on that the city needed to make some changes. And the first controversial thing that drove this. Well, before we get to that, let's talk about.
all right.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
All right, so backing up, this is part of the neighborhood. We're kind of in the southeast corner here, and we just wanted to point out a few things that made this unique about the neighborhood. And the first one is over on this side with our arrows, they had a ramp onto Highway 100. So this is a major highway north-south, connects into the area. So you have people coming off the freeway coming in. As most people know, if you're coming right off the ramp, that can lead to higher speeds, can lead to people coming off the freeway. Do they head into the neighborhood? Do they know where they're going? That sort of thing. So it's an impact to this neighborhood.
And the second thing, which I was getting ahead of myself, but the real starting motivation for this, back the city 25, 30 years ago, did some work in the area and put in the cul-de-sac right by the fire station, and the Webster Avenue on the east side a long time ago was a frontage road, but that was closed. But they inadvertently left a cut-through route open through this Aldersgate United Methodist Church. They left full access for the church, but residents to the tune of about 100 trips a day were using this as a cut-through route to easily get in and out of the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And the third thing, which made them want to use this as a cut-through route, is that Oxford Street is a one-way going eastbound out of the neighborhood, which made it less convenient for residents to get into the neighborhood. So there was that fear of change of you're closing off our shortcut, which we don't want to encourage citizens going on private property. So that was a default decision going in. But then let's look at the neighborhood and do we need to make some changes to help traffic flow smoother? And now being the right time with the full street reconstruct project coming up.
Mm-hmm. And that's an important point too. Try to get ahead of your construction project. You don't want to put something back in and study it after the fact.
Yes. Yep.
We'll
So
get to that.
timing was great.